Listen up, barbecue lovers. Two big events are coming to South Carolina's upstate, and both are packing 2 days of festival fun for the third weekend in October. You don't want to miss the 25th annual Squealin' on the Square in Lawrence, South Carolina, Friday, October 17th and Saturday, October 18th. There's going to be live music, local vendors, family fun, and of course, delicious barbecue in this Kansas City Barbecue Society competition. It's all happening in downtown Lawrence for Squealin' on the Square, October 17th and 18th. Get more details at mainstreetlawrence.org. Downtown Abbeville is the site for the Hogs and Hens Festival, a Southern Barbecue Network competition featuring a full slate of craft vendors, live music, a kid zone, and, of course, some of the best barbecue east of the Mississippi. Don't miss Hogs and Hens, October 17th and 18th in downtown Abbeville. Complete festival information at abbevillecitysc.com. Squealin' on the Square in Lawrence and the Hogs and Hens Festival in Abbeville, South Carolina's upstate, is smoking October 17th and 18th. Since 2013, the Hogs and Hens Festival has been bringing thousands of people to Abbeville, the county seat of Abbeville County in South Carolina's upstate. Some people say it's part of the old 96 district. To find out about the Hogs and Hens Festival, we've invited one of the event organizers, Emily Bledsoe. Emily, welcome to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here and just talk about Abbeville and talk about hogs and hens. Really exciting.
Yeah, so just take a quick moment and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do there with Abbeville, and maybe tell us where you're from and how you got hooked into this Hogs and Hens thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Emily Bledsoe. I am the Opera House and Events Director for the city of Abbeville. I started in September of 2018, so I just celebrated 7 years working for the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do my job, my department. We do the festivals. We have two large festivals each year: our Spring Festival every May, and then of course the Hogs and Hens Barbecue Festival in October. We also do all of the Opera House events, which is actually where my office is, which is really cool. So we have plays and concerts and comedians and things going on during the weekends here. And then we have other little small events throughout the year, seasonal events. We have our Scare on the Square, which is our Halloween event every year. We have a lot of Christmas events, our Christmas in Abbeville, obviously parade, tree lighting, all kinds of fun things like that. But yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy it.
Wonderful. And we're going to talk more about Hogs and Hens today.
Yes.
But before we get too deep into that, I know this is a Southern Barbecue Network competition, and you've got categories for pork and chicken and brisket. What's your favorite, Emily, the hogs or the hens?
I like the hogs. The pulled pork is my favorite.
Yeah, well, that's good enough for me. I like to hear that. We're going to talk more about Hogs and Hens and what folks can expect on October 17th and 18th in Abbeville. We'll also have festival details at our website, lowslowbbqshow.com. Just look for the blog to get more details about the festival, as well as recipes, reviews, and other Carolina barbecue news. While you're at lowslowbbqshow.com, subscribe to the newsletter, become an ambassador for the Low and Slow Barbecue Show, and we'll send you Carolina barbecue news, food truck schedules, event announcements, all that to your inbox Tuesday mornings. And it'll also include you in our smoking crew of Low and Slow Barbecue Show ambassadors. Of course, we'll have links to Hogs and Hens Festival, October 17th and 18th, and we're getting all those details from the show pro in the know, Emily Bledsoe. Emily, give us an overview. What is the Hogs and Hens Festival?
Yes, so it is our annual festival. It takes place the third week in October every year. Like you mentioned, it started in 2013, so we're on the 12th year of that. It actually started just on one small street within the square. And like I said, I started in 2018, and by the time I started, it had grown already so much to encompass the full square. And even more so now since 2018, we've added, all just different kinds of events. Southern Barbecue Network being one of those, being a part of it. Prior to that, we just had community members they did a great job, but they obviously weren't trained certified judges. And then I was the one responsible for tallying the scores, it was a lot.
I'm sure that could be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, so we're very grateful to be working and have a Southern Barbecue Network be a part of it, for sure.
Yeah, very cool. So tell us what folks can expect from the festival at large.
Yeah, so we will have lots of different food vendors. I think we have almost 20 food vendors that'll be on the square. A majority of them are obviously barbecue. It is a barbecue festival,
Hmm.
and then we also have we have seafood and your classic like concessions that you think about, funnel cakes, fried Oreos, stuff like that.
Yeah, fair food.
Yes, exactly. We have a taco vendor. We have just sweets, and so there is, even if you don't like barbecue, which I guess we won't hold that against you, but we have a little something for everybody. And then, addition to our food vendors, we have lots of craft vendors that are on our square, also inside our livery stable, which is a really cool space that we have, like a semi-outdoor space that used
Hmm.
to be a stable, and now it's sort of an event venue downtown. And then we also have music, so we'll have music on Friday evening, on Saturday, and we have a kids zone, which has been a fairly recent addition that we've had
Oh,
to the festival on Saturday morning, and that's just been a really welcome thing. Something that a lot of people ask for, because Spring Festival is obviously geared a lot more towards kids. We have festival rides and things like that,
hmm,
and so that was something that was missing from Hogs and Hens for a long time, was having that component, something that would appeal to the kids. So that's really fun. We have like the fire truck and the police vehicles there. The kids love, blowing the horn and
yeah.
riding in those. And then we have a lot of different organizations and businesses set up, and they'll have little fun activities for the kids. So we try to have something for everybody.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
strategy to get everybody to come on out. Well, so
absolutely.
tell me, for folks that aren't familiar with Abbeville and in that part of South Carolina, describe your community and the little area where the festival will be happening.
Yeah, so we are, like you said, in the upstate South Carolina, about an hour from Greenville, 2 hours from Columbia.
Mhm.
We have a very rich history in Abbeville, and part of that is our square. So, our downtown historic square, which is where our festivals take place outside, it's all brick. So,
Mm,
it's a
cool.
really, cool kind of feature that a lot of towns don't really have, something that's very unique to Abbeville. So that's where, like I said, where our festivals take place, and it takes place just right outside, and all of our businesses and the Opera House and the Belmont Inn and Trinity Church, all these historic sites kind of, just circle that square, um, and we just have a lot of history here.
Are those venues open for folks to visit while they're in town over the
Oh
weekend?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. We have a walking guide for people if they want to come check it out. We definitely encourage people to explore while they're here, and then come back and see what all we have to offer.
Yeah, very cool. So, can you tell me? I know you came on in 2018.
Mhm.
5 years or so after the festival got started. Did you know anything about kind of what started it, how it got going in Abbeville?
Yeah, I think it was just the town wanted another festival in the second part of the year. And I guess kind of came up with a barbecue festival, because those are, fairly popular around here and have a good bit of them, and just wanted something a little more niche. And
Mm.
yeah, it's just grown from that.
Yeah. So, and I know that you guys are participating and partnering kind of with Southern Barbecue Network, and those are some old pals of mine too. And I know with their events, there's always sort of a nonprofit
Yes.
aspect to it. So the festival supports another charitable organization in the community. Tell us a little bit about who Hogs and Hens supports this year.
Yeah, so we do a annual kind of application process where,
Hmm.
or 501c3s can, apply for that and kind of give us their mission statement, their organization, and we do a random drawing. And that's something that really, stood out to me with Southern Barbecue Network, is like we had to have a benefactor that they could, support and promote. And I love that about them. So we've had like our youth center before, we've had a food bank, local food bank before, so we try to switch it up and kind of spread the love. So this year, I think we'll have, it's like a Meals on Wheels type of organization,
Oh, wonderful.
that'll be our benefactor. But yeah, I love that we give that opportunity, and the SBN gives that opportunity to somebody to set up at the festival, free of charge, and get their information and their mission out there, and possibly collect donations. I just think that's really great.
And that's a great partner, a meal service organization. It's similar to, as you say, to Meals on Wheels, some of those
Mhm.
home delivery for foods who need it the most. So, folks that need it the most. Let me ask you, Emily, you've been involved for, a few years since 2018. So that's 7 years, I
Yeah.
guess. What do you enjoy about the festival? I know you got to be involved in it because that's kind of your gig, but what do you enjoy about doing it when it comes around each year?
I love the fall is my favorite
Yeah.
season. So I love the weather. It just feels, I don't know, it feels very homey and comforting. And then of course the food. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
But it's a very kind of laid back festival. I feel like, and just because a lot of places you go and you're just so crammed in, you can barely move. Lines are crazy long, and I feel like we've grown, but we've still maintained that kind of small town feel, where it's just a lot more relaxed, and you can just come and hang out on the square and listen to music and eat and have the kids running around. It feels very homey.
This episode of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show is sponsored by the Southern Barbecue Network. Since 2010, the Southern Barbecue Network has sanctioned barbecue tournaments to further their goal of preserving a Southern tradition by providing well-trained judges to contests that are raising money for charitable causes in the Carolinas. In addition to supporting charitable barbecue competitions, the Southern Barbecue Network also donates annually to numerous local community organizations, hospitals, and nonprofits. To find out more about the Southern Barbecue Network competition program and barbecue judge training classes, please visit sbbqn.com for more information. Again, that is sbbqn.com.
How did you get into it being a barbecue festival? Again, knowing that you came along kind of after the fact,
Yeah.
you obviously have the opportunity to change it from being a barbecue. So, why barbecue? Why do that and with
Yeah.
this event? I mean, I guess you'd have to change it from Hogs and Hens unless you became kind of a agricultural fair. Never mind
Right.
that. But why barbecue?
Yeah, I think it's it's just popular here in the South. Obviously, it's a very popular thing, and they wanted to have something a little more specialized, a little more focused on just that hogs and hens. We get so many. It's hilarious when people call and ask about the festival. We get just the names that people call it is so funny.
But
Yeah.
let me ask you, you've been at least in Abbeville for a little while. What is your idea of South Carolina barbecue? What is South Carolina barbecue to you?
Well, my first thought is mustard base. I'm gonna
Okay.
go mustard sauce for South Carolina for sure.
Mustard sauce. All right, that's a good
Yeah.
differentiator. Is there a barbecue that you grew up on and prefer, or is it the mustard sauce?
My family, my uncle specifically, he does like a big Fourth of July thing every year, and he does hash and ribs and brisket and pulled pork and everything. So I grew up just loving barbecue, and then getting older and being involved in this and getting to try different things and different people's barbecue, and everybody kind of thinks theirs is the best. But it's really nice to try all those different things. I will say one kind of funny thing, hash is very localized.
Sure.
A lot of people. I actually interned at a larger barbecue festival while I was in college, and people came from all over the place to compete in that. And some of the things that I saw that they called hash was just hilarious.
Not the
And
same, huh?
yeah, and I believe somebody from one of the judges from Southern Barbecue Network told me they had to come up with their judging criteria for hash because of hogs and hens, because we
Oh,
were one of the only ones that had that as a category that was being judged.
yeah. Well, speaking of the judging and the competitors there, do you know how many competitors to expect to this year's competition? It seems like there's a large crew that go with the Southern Barbecue Network throughout their competition season.
Yeah, so we have, as of right now, and they still have a month to sign up, so they're welcome to sign up. But we have three competition only teams right now, and then we have, I believe it's seven of our barbecue vendors who will be vending and competing. So people will get an opportunity to taste that barbecue, because the vending only, or excuse me, the competition only teams. Obviously, people don't always get that, so it's nice that they can try some from teams that are also competing.
Yeah, that's an important question. So if I go to the festival, the competitors in the competition, some of them make available some of the food that they're competing with.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting to see how they produce a barbecue that may be tuned to what the audience likes as well as what the judges like.
Yeah, my mom always, when we announce the results, and I'm the one who announces it, so I'll have the final score sheet, and she's like, "Let me take a picture." So then she knows where to go for. She's like, "Oh, well, they had the best ribs, they had the best brisket," and she just goes by that. So I think that's really cool that people are able to try the award-winning barbecue.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, what is the order of events? How does the day break down? Because I know it starts Friday and then it
Mhm.
goes into Saturday. From a competition standpoint, maybe walk us a little bit through what the schedule is.
Yeah, so thankfully we're very hands off thanks to Southern Barbecue Network.
Uh huh.
They start their judging early in the morning, and teams come in, I believe, in either 30-minute increments or hour increments. Deliver their food to be judged, and then probably around 2 o'clock that afternoon, they've got everything tallied, and we'll announce the winners. So there's still plenty of time. The festival goes on until 8 o'clock. So there is still plenty of time for people to get some barbecue after that.
Yeah. So you expect an award call for the 2 o'clock range, maybe early afternoon. And again, the
Yeah.
important thing, plenty of time left during the festival to go out and enjoy some of that food. And they get started on Friday. So can you come
Yes.
out early and see the guys starting up
Yeah.
the food they'll taste later on in the festival?
Yeah. So it officially kicks off at 5 o'clock on Friday. However, a lot of the vendors are open for lunch, so a lot of people, kind of mill around the square before then. A lot of the local businesses will come out and get their lunch from there, and then yeah, officially kicks off at 5 and goes until 8 on Friday evening. And we have the Swinging Medallions. They're going to be there on Friday evening performing. They're kind of become like a staple for Hogs and Hens Friday night.
Okay.
And then on Saturday, we have our kids zone, and then it goes, straight into all the other things. So all of our vendors, we have a gospel concert on Saturday morning. That was something that we added in the past couple of years. A lot of people requested that. So we have some gospel singers, and then we'll do the award ceremony, and then we have more bands performing after that. And then of course the barbecue until they sell out. They'll keep going,
Yeah, well, it's good barbecue when they sell out, so you got to
and
get
they
there
do.
early.
They do.
Well, you mentioned the community aspect of a lot of folks around Abbeville and the businesses area. Uh, I've found in some of these festivals, most of the festivals, you have an opportunity to engage and interact, with the pit masters and maybe some of the folks that are involved with Southern Barbecue Network
Mhm.
and in the town of Abbeville. You feel like that's the same case here?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He was our main, I don't know, main judge, main person we spoke with for SBN for a while now. He's from Abbeville, and then
Mm.
recently he stepped down. So last year it was first year he was actually competed, and
Oh,
he won the whole thing. And he'll be,
wow.
yeah, so he'll be back competing again this year. But it's really nice to have somebody local that, knows Abbeville, and they can just swing by anytime, and we can talk about the festival. And he's, familiar with the town and a lot of the vendors. They're very tight with each other. So yeah, that's really cool.
Well, to dispel any suspicion right from the outset, it is a blind judging.
Yes,
So,
it
the
is.
resident of Abbeville does not have a leg up on the rest of the competition, right?
Right. Yes, it is very. They do a very good job of, making everything, switching numbers, and very secretive, tallying everything up. So yes,
Very
it's
secret.
very fair.
Very in secret. They got some specific guidelines, and we've had an episode last year that we talked with our friends at the Southern Barbecue Network, and he kind of broke down the process as one of the judges there. And we'll
Hmm.
look forward to talking to somebody else from the team here very soon. I want to ask you. You mentioned the folks in town and community. Do you feel or get a feel for people coming from out of Abbeville, maybe foreign different counties? How far are folks coming to attend the event?
Yeah, we get a lot of people from Greenwood, which is, the
Hmm.
larger town right next to ours. I'd say that's actually probably where a majority of our people come from, and then of course a lot of Abbeville people. We get a lot of people from Georgia because we're kind of close to the border, so we
Hmm.
get a lot of folks from like Elberton, things like that. And there are plenty of hotels and bed and breakfasts and things like that where people can stay overnight and then come enjoy the festival. So yeah, we love our locals, but we love, people traveling and come to experience Abbeville also.
And coming to visit from out of town. Yeah, you
Yes,
mentioned the hotels. If I go to Hogs and Hens, it's at the AbbevilleCitySC.com.
that's the one.
Right, you go to the events tab and you can find Hogs and Hens, and you've got details about things coming up and updates coming soon. I visited Southern Barbecue Network, and they called out kind of the local places, the Belmont Inn and the Abbeville
Yeah.
Motel, Hampton Inn, all kind of places where you can stay, accommodations if you're going to be attending that festival. Again, you can get more details there at AbbevilleCitySC.com in the Hogs and Hens Festival area. Let me ask you, Emily, why? You've given us a lot of reasons today, but in your mind, why should people attend this festival this year?
Yeah, I think people should attend Hogs and Hens because it is a free, fun, family-friendly event that everybody is welcome to, and there will be something for everybody. Like I said, even if you normally steer clear of barbecue and that's not your thing, there's still plenty of other vendors and other activities going on. So we try to do something for everybody, and I think we do that pretty well.
Yeah, and I detect some passion in your voice, and obviously you stay very busy with lots of great events in the town, and you've been there long enough to know kind of the beat and what you've got going on. What keeps your fire burning? Why do you keep doing this, Emily?
I love. I've always been a planner, and I love planning. People don't realize how detailed planning festivals like this is, and how we started as soon as our spring festival ends in May. We start Hogs and Hens. And start putting those applications out. And I just love you put all this stuff on paper and all these plans and schedules, and then to see it actually come to fruition and see everything just kind of fall into place and come together and see people come out and enjoy themselves, and just to know that you played a part in that is just very special and very fulfilling.
And that, my friends, is the final word from Hogs and Hens Festival organizer Emily Bledsoe. Emily, thanks so much for joining us today. You can get more details on the festival, again, as I said, at AbbevilleCitySC.com. Look for the Festival and Events tab, click Hogs and Hens Festival. Updated details appear there as well. Also, stay tuned to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show for more details over the next few weeks. We'll keep you up to date at our website, lowslowbbqshow.com. That's where you'll also find more interviews and blogs. And if you sign up for our free newsletter and become a Low and Slow Barbecue Show ambassador, you'll get the latest barbecue news delivered to your email inbox on Tuesday mornings. You've been listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show on the Mesh.tv network of podcasts. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast stream. Share our podcast with your food-loving friends, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks again to our guest today, Emily Bledsoe, for the Hogs and Hens Festival in the city of Abbeville. That's coming up October 17th and 18th. Thanks to everyone on the team at the Mesh.tv network of podcasts, of course, especially our producer, Andrew Moose. Finally, thank you for listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. Remember, for the best barbecue and the best barbecue podcast, make it low and slow.